Book of Heaven, Volume 31, September 8, 1932. Prodigy of the Birth of the Queen of Heaven. Ways of communication between creator and creature. Who forms nobility? My little mind is always on its rounds inside and outside of the divine volition. And as much as it keeps turning around, I never tire. I feel a mysterious force that, attracting me, never says enough, but says run. Search for its acts, love them, adore them, kiss them, and transform your acts into its own and form your whole life of divine will. And if I am unable to say anything in my races and rounds, I say my tiny little story. I love you, I love you, I adore you, I bless you, oh adorable will, in all your works. And since today was the nativity of the Queen of Heaven, I stopped to think about the great portent of her birth, such that it seemed that heaven and earth came to attention to adore this divine prodigy. And my highest good Jesus, with unspeakable love and tenderness, told me,
"Blessed daughter of my will, the birth of my celestial Mama encloses all the wonders, all the prodigies united together. But do you know why? It was not her alone to be born, the pure one, the holy one, the beautiful one, the immaculate. No, but together with the celestial baby girl, my divine will was born in her, already conceived and enclosed in her to form its life, growing and operating in the gracious little girl. My will, enclosing itself to be born together with her, making use of the organ of the celestial creature in order to operate and form its divine life. This was a prodigy that only the eternal love, the divine wisdom and power could operate. It was not just the life that was given, nor was it merely the gift of freeing her from original sin. This would have been nothing for our power. What stupefied and drew the attention of all was my will being born together with her in the world. So much so that heaven and earth remained shaken, came to attention, felt a mysterious force. That same force that dominated them and preserved the whole creation was the same will of ours that moved everything and placed itself and all creation at the service and disposal of this newborn baby girl. So, this being born of my will together with her was the origin that called all the other prodigies to be centralized in her. Wherever my fiat reigns, there is no good Ming. It does not enclose, no prodigy, it does not perform. It wants to make display of its love and power by forming its operating life and place from its own for as much as the creature is capable of containing. Therefore, admire and thank our Supreme Being, who reaches so much love toward this newborn little girl as to make our will, which is not born, which has no beginning and no end or limits in its boundaries, to be born in her."
Then I was following the operating of the divine will in all created things, and my lovable Jesus added,
"My daughter, created things were made by us in order to form many ways, so that man might make use of them in order to come to us. In fact, we left them all open, so that, whenever he wanted to come, he would have no need to knock or to open in order to come to us. He was our son. It was right and reasonable that he would have all the ways open to go to his celestial Father and spend time with him, to love him and be loved, and as son, to ask him for graces and favors. But do you know what the ungrateful son did? He himself shut the ways closed, formed the bars, and by sin formed the doors, closing the correspondences with the one who had given him life. Now do you want to know who returns to open the doors, to burn up the bars? One who loves me and lives in my divine will. The love and my fiat are the powerful forces that burn and empty everything and open all the ways, so as to place the distant child once again in the arms of his celestial Father. Now, you must know that all the virtues, the good works, the love, the doing my divine will, form the nobility of man. But the substance of this nobility is the richness of my grace. All the good leans upon it, as it makes itself fount and preserver of all the good that can be done. Otherwise, one can be called noble by origin, as man is, but since he lacks the wealth, almost out of necessity he finds himself doing acts unworthy of his nobility. In fact, if one is noble but is not rich, he cannot dress as a noble man, nor live in palaces. So his nobility is reduced to the mere memory that he was noble. In the same way, for one who does not possess the richness of my grace, all the good is reduced to squalid virtues, which very often show that he is not rich in patience, in prayer, in charity, and so forth. Now, good forms the nobility. The richness of my grace preserves it. My will forms the king that dominates and with divine mastery regulates and orders everything.
Fiat.